Please be seated. So as I mentioned earlier, each week we do a recovenanting process, and this week is a deeper dive into that, so that by the time we get to our water communion ritual later in the service, where we ritualize our flowing together, we'll hopefully have a deeper sense of how it actually works in practice, in the day-to-day, the week-to-week, the year-to-year flow of our lives to flow together. Today is the autumnal equinox, sometimes known as the end of boating season for some folks. The day when we tip over into the dark half of the year, the cold half of the year, when we spend more time indoors, when our relationships with ourselves and with each other sometimes deepen and sometimes are strained. So as we enter into this darker, colder half of the year, how can we shore up our relationships? How can we strengthen our relationships so that they hold us together in vibrant community with each other? UU theologian Rebecca Parker writes, "At its simplest, covenant means to come together. More precisely, it means to come together by making a promise, as when two people promise to love and care for one another. Unitarian Universalists often speak of covenant as a verbal statement of promise between individuals who, exercising their freedom of choice, bring community into being. But talking about it like that reinforces our cultural tendency to understand human existence in individualistic terms. First comes the individual, and then the community. And does that serve us? Does it serve us to think of first the individual and then the community? Are the times that we live in helped by us reinforcing that sense of first the individual and then the community? With the pervasive isolation and loneliness that runs through our society, with an economic system that maximizes self-interest at the expense of collective well-being, we live in a society in which we are trained from our very youngest memories to miss each other, to let bygones be bygones, to agree to disagree, to go your own way. And while there may be a positive intention in each of these, they also have the impact of serving a larger cultural tendency to neglect our togetherness, to atrophy and starve our ability to fully be in community with each other, especially people who are different from us, especially those who don't seem to be of like mind to us. And all too often, our relationships with each other are impoverished, and we too become impoverished as a result. So I'd ask Jeremy to share a song with us that does some exploring of that theme.
Came to the world in April. There were brains to catch and build your faith. You learned to walk while I was away. He was talking before I knew it, and as he grew, he said, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. Cats in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue, and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when we'll get then. You know we'll have a good time then. The sun turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today. Got a lot to do, he said, that's okay. And as he walked away, his smile never dimmed. He said, I'm gonna be like him, yeah. You know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, the little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when we'll get there together then. You know we'll have a good time then. They came home from college just the other day. Some much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle with the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll give a good time then. Long since retired, my son moved away. I called him up just the other day. Said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and my kids have the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's sure been nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, the little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when we'll get there together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
That's a heavy song. Played so well. Thanks, Jeremy. So I am doing the reading titled I Want to Be with People by Dana Worsnop. Often people say that they love coming to a place with so many like-minded people. And I know just what they are getting at, and I know that they aren't getting it quite right. I want to be in a community where I don't have to think like everybody else to be eligible for salvation. I want to be with people who value compassion, justice, love, and truth. Though they may have different opinions about all sorts of things, I want to be with people of good heart, people who have many names and no name at all for God, who see in me goodness and dignity, who also see my feelings and foibles, and who still love me. I want to be with people who feel their interconnectedness with all existence and let it guide their footfalls upon this earth. People who see life as a paradox and don't rush to resolve it, who are willing to balance upon the tightrope that is life, who will help steady me when I am wobble, and who give of themselves and who share their hearts and minds and gifts. I want to be with people who let church call them into a different way of being in the world, people who support, encourage, and even challenge each other to more ethical living, who are willing to be uncomfortable trying to get there, who inspire one another to follow the call of the Spirit, who covenant to be honest, engaged, and kind, who strive to keep their promises and hold me to the promises I make. I want to be with people who know that human community is usually warm and generous, often challenging, and almost always a grand adventure. In short, I want to be with people like you.
I need some volunteers for this next bit. I'm going to ask you one at a time to be human mirrors. When it comes to you, I'm going to say, hi. You're going to say to me, hey, you got something on your face. I know, you were thinking it, but just too polite to say. Is this thing on? There it is.
And then I'm going to respond to you in some way. And then I'm going to find another volunteer. So, who would like to go first? Hey. Hey, hi, how you doing?
How are you doing? I see a wonderful person with love in their eyes. And I think you're so wonderful, and I hope other people see that in you.
Well, that was nice. But it wasn't exactly scripted. Thank you very much. I'm going to come back to you. Hi.
Excuse me.
Yes?
You have something on your face.
What? No, I don't. How dare you? Sit down. I don't have anything on my face. She tried. Anybody else want to raise their hand?
Hey, what's up? I thought we were going to not show up at the same time because we both were in that cage fight together.
See, this is what happens when you go audience participation. You never know what you're going to get. Anybody else want to tell me I have something on my face?
You have something on your face.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. You know, funny you should say that. You have something on your face. So there. That's right. That's my face. My face right there in front of my head.
Excuse me.
Yes?
You have something on your face.
What? I'll have you know, I'm an excellent face washer. I have studied face washing for years. There's a plaque on my wall for how good I am at face washing. Do you have something you want to say to me? Looks like you have something you want to say to me.
I think you got a little something there, maybe.
Did I get it? How dare you? How dare you tell me I have something? I'm going to take my ball and go home now. You know, everybody has something on their face. You know, why mention it? You know, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just the way things are.
Grant,
Yes.
you have a little. You have a really no the other
Did
side.
I get it?
No, it's the other side. You can really you should have checked yourself in the mirror before you.
Myself before. Oh,
yeah.
y'all wrecked me.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
You know, should we try the real response now?
Sure.
I think so. I have something on my face. Well, thank you for telling me. You know, I've been washing it away bit by bit, but I guess some of it is stickier than I thought. Now, I really appreciate you letting me know. Would you be willing to help me wash my face? Should have asked her. She was real nice.
I know. Real nice.
Aw, thank you. I'm going to put this back now. You can do some of that. All right. And when you think about being in community together and what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist, what response do you think was the best one? Actually, I think yeah, you had the Unitarian Universalist answer. I see a beautiful person who just happens to be a little smudgy today. Sometimes when we are building community together, it is important to listen to what other people have to say, even if we might not want to hear it at first. But we do that because it is part of our covenant, our promise to each other. There are times when we need to hear news or feedback that causes us discomfort, but in hearing it and responding to it constructively, with curiosity and with humility, we can more easily go about building beloved community.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you, everybody, for participating and telling Grant that he has something on his face. So this congregation has two covenants, one that's included in our bylaws and that we repeat each week as our affirmation of faith, and another, a behavioral covenant that tries to offer some specifics of what that looks like in the day-to-day. Both of them are included in your order of service, so you can take them home with you and pin them up on the wall if you want. And so I'll invite Ruth and Maggie to come up and read them aloud for each of you. And just notice as they read them, whether this is your first week here or you've been coming here for years, to which parts of these covenants have you been most faithful? And to which parts of these covenants have you not been as faithful? Just notice inside of yourself.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer. And this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
And our behavioral covenant, we promise to expand our spiritual growth and faith in action by living our Unitarian Universalist 7 principles. We will commit our hearts and minds to building a community of caring, acceptance, and reconciliation, thus creating a safe environment for all. We promise to actively work to build trust and respect in our community by honoring our word, expressing gratitude, showing compassion while respecting our boundaries and the boundaries of others. We promise to participate in the life of our congregation, practicing mindfulness, communicating honestly, sharing in the work of the community, and assuming that we are all doing the best that we can at the time. We promise to support the goals of the congregation while still seeking to honor the ideas of the individual. We will accept and civilly engage with challenging situations when they arise, knowing that they are opportunities for growth. We promise to consider our thoughts before speaking, seeking to communicate in a clear and positive manner, and to pause before acting. We promise to speak directly to those concerned with an issue, offer and receive appropriate criticism and praise, and provide timely, specific, and clear feedback. We promise to be appropriately supportive of others without taking sides in personal disputes and/or misunderstandings between individuals.
So maybe, as they read them, you felt like you've been totally faithful to every last part of it. And if so, then that's wonderful. Thank you for leaning in so fully to this congregation or your lives outside of this congregation. Or maybe as they read them, you felt like you have missed the mark here or there. For myself, I noticed that I feel out of covenant in a few areas. One of which, committing my heart and mind to building a community of reconciliation. There are times when I let it pass, of like, that didn't feel quite right, that felt kind of off, and I don't end up following through with that follow-up conversation to point it out, to talk about it, to see where we might meet more fully. The expressing gratitude, offering appropriate criticism and praise, providing timely, specific, and clear feedback, same thing, where I can sometimes be like, I'll get to that later, and I end up not getting around to it. Or sharing the work of the community. I can have a tendency to say, yes, I will do that, and yes, I will do that, and yes, I will do that, and end up dropping some balls and not fully sharing in the work of the community. And supporting the goals of the congregation. There are times when I wonder, how do the goals of the congregation apply in this moment? Or what are the goals really clearly in this moment? And I don't end up following up to clarify for myself what those are. What about for you? What came up for you as you were listening to them? Was there something in particular that stuck out to you of, I wish that I could do a better job of this, or I noticed that I'm not fully living up to this potential? Covenants are, once again, aspirational. When we break them, we are called back in We are called to return again, to take responsibility, to say we are sorry, that we'll do better. We're all on a journey of growth and change, and we all make mistakes along the way. So may the spirit of redemption and transformation be among us in this space. May we apologize for the ways that we have not taken responsibility for staying fully in covenant with each other and then returning again on this journey of growth and change that we share, recommitting once again to our covenant. And so I'd offer just a space in case somebody feels moved to speak into the space of anything in particular in the covenant that you feel like you've missed the mark on, that you would like to do a better job or to re-covenant to. Yeah, Maggie.
Sometimes I think that I focus on things that are wrong, that need correcting, that need my advice, that need my fixing, that need my tending, and less on the things that I should be celebrating together with you and lifting people up in praise and appreciation. And I apologize.
Focusing more on the critique, the way that things could be better, than the affirmation, the celebration of what is already here. Thank you, Maggie. Yeah, Heather.
I apologize for calling you jerk face.
It's not specifically lined out in the covenant, but it's implied, I feel like. Yes. Thank you for that apology, Heather. I appreciate it. Any others? Yeah. Ruth.
I feel like Maggie, I often have the ability to be like, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better, and I talk about that a lot. And I think I could be better at assuming best intentions before I talk. I mean, I really do assume everyone has good intentions. I really do, but I don't always verbally express it. So I think that would help before I give my ideas for change.
The verbal expression of that affirmation and celebration tied to the suggestions for change. Beautiful. Thank you, Ruth. The intention. Thank you. Yeah.
I tend to take sides once I have a decision made.
Taking sides once the decision's been made. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Totally. Thank you. Receiving criticism. Yeah, that can be a tough one. Yes.
I am dealing with family drama and trying to deal with toxic people and not being blessed with what they have. They don't realize how good it is.
Seems like some resentment that you carry around the difference. Yeah. Around them being so blessed. Yeah. Thank you. One or two more? Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I let my ego get in the way of really connecting with somebody, especially in moments of disagreement.
Letting your ego get in the way of connecting with others, especially when there's disagreement going on. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Stephanie.
I tend to hold a grudge, even though when I say in my mind I'm not going to, but it's
Holding a grudge, even though, like, oh, no, I'm not holding a grudge, but underneath, it's still festering. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who participated verbally in that, and also thank you to those who are still holding something non-verbally within yourself. As we return to covenant, let us hear the words together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer. And this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And of course, there is always the opportunity to update the covenant, to look at it and recognize, you know what, actually there's something missing from here. There's something else that we could add to it. This isn't a set in stone doctrine. This is hopefully a living, breathing thing that we can continue to enter into discussions with each other, wrestling what actually is serving us the best and the most in this moment to build the sort of beloved community that we would like to see in the world. And so if you're a member of the Board of Trustees, would you just raise your hand? So any of those folks are folks that you can go up to and say, hey, actually, I think that we should change this part of the covenant, and just give them some feedback. And there's the possibility of us moving in that direction. Or either of the folks who are here on the Right Relations Ministry team, Ruth or Maggie, who read earlier, those would also be great folks to reach out to if it feels like, you know what, we could actually do some modification, some updating of either of the covenants that we read earlier today. Creating covenants takes time and thought and the willingness to work together. We haven't yet updated with any of the suggestions that you all might bring to them, but we can always keep working in that direction. So let us affirm our commitment to doing so. I invite you to repeat after me. We reaffirm our commitment. We reaffirm our commitment. And we'll keep working together in good faith. Beautiful. We are all loved, precious beings. We are all loved, precious beings. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Working together on covenants doesn't just involve finding ways we've missed the mark. It can also involve identifying ways that we've nailed it, that we've demonstrated our full commitment. So in that spirit, I'd like to just briefly offer 3 acknowledgments, and these are just the first 3 that came to mind. This by no means implies that if I'm not naming your name, that I'm not affirming you, but we only have time to go through so many. So first of all, Jerry Ashmore for participating in the life of our congregation by practicing mindfulness, communicating honestly, sharing in the work of the community, and assuming that we are all doing the best that we can at any time. Fortunately, he's not here this morning, but I asked him to watch the service online, so hopefully he's doing that. Sandy Waters for supporting the goals of the congregation while still seeking to honor the ideas of the individual. Maggie and Ruth and Craig for committing their hearts and minds to building a community of caring, acceptance, and reconciliation, thus creating a safe environment for us all. So in that spirit, I'd invite you to just look around this space at these folks. And if this is your first Sunday here, these might be totally strange faces to you, so you might not even know, who the heck are these people? I don't know them. But if you've been here for a little while, then you might have a hint of like, I know this person. I've seen them for the past several years. And there might be some sort of appreciation that comes up inside of you for some specific individuals. Is there anything that folks would like to share at this time? To speak out loud and appreciate somebody and be witnessed by everybody else? Yeah.
I would like to appreciate Cheryl Powell for her dedication and love for this church and for Thrive. And I don't, going back to the previous exercise, I don't always have sufficient patience. I would like to apologize for that.
Thank you, Carl. Yeah, thank you so much for appreciating Cheryl. Yeah, Heather.
Roz, who's back there doing what she does every week, and hope she's got the Bears game on.
And Rosalind for being such a powerhouse in this congregation. Beautiful. 1 or 2 more? Yeah.
I just appreciated that I have been accepted in this church, and the love is just amazing. And with me being here for a short time, somebody said last night to me, that seemed like I've been here forever. And I've been here since then because I flowed right.
Beautiful. So a broader appreciation of the whole congregation for welcoming and including her in the life of the church. 1 more, yeah, Ruth.
I want to thank Michelle, who just inspires me so much with her creativity and her energy and her love for this congregation and all she's done for years, and
The Powerhouse family of the Farrells. Excellent. So I love that there are hands going up, and I want to encourage folks to after the worship service is over, to specifically go up to at least one person, maybe 3 people, and continue offering your appreciations face to face for other folks. And if somebody comes up to you with an affirmation, my invitation to you would be to allow yourself to receive it. So often we can downplay other folks' appreciation and be like, it's not a big deal, or whatever, it's fine, and we might not fully take it into ourselves. So I would invite you to resist that urge to second guess the ways in which you do have value. And just listen to the ways in which you have been a gift in the world. In the 16th century, English clergyman Robert Brown had a vision of churches that came into being not through people agreeing with doctrine and not through priests administering the sacraments, but instead through mutual agreement to walk together. As Rebecca Parker notes, 450 years later, we are the fulfillment of Brown's dream. It is important for us to remember that we are, first of all, relational beings, shaped by history and by a community of faith. Our exercise of free choice takes place within a context of relational existence. Fundamentally, covenant is not a verbal agreement, but a practice. It is formed by coming together in peace and committing ourselves as co-workers with the source of life. Our verbal promises are the frosting on the cake, not the cake itself. They may help us to keep the covenant that we are in, but they are not the covenant itself.